Okay, so we're off to get the bus.
Yep.
Right.
Pay the bill and pick up the bus. See how it runs.
Yeah. Are you a little nervous?
A little bit.
See if the smoke is diminished at least.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Hope for the best.
Yeah. And find out how he clocked in. How many more hours would he have had to clock in? That's
yeah, I didn't.
He had 5 hours on Friday. So that would be 1,000. So another 10 hours or so he'd have to clock. So.
Yeah, depending on how many. I guess I didn't know how many he had in prior to that, as far as the diagnosis.
Oh.
'Cause he'd already done that and pulled all the parts out. The disassembly was all done.
Before you had the 5 hours with him.
Yeah.
On Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's go see.
All right.
Seem to shift okay?
Yeah. It's not rough. It doesn't really like clunk.
But it hits the gears okay?
Yeah. Do I have to rev it a little higher than I had expected at first, but
okay.
It does shift.
Okay. Well, this cylinder is leaking. The other one's doing the same thing.
Oh, you tried the other one?
I bench tested them, and I took them apart, and there was O-rings bad in each of them, but they're still leaking.
What is leaking?
Oh, so they need O-rings, or you?
Well, I don't know. To tell you the truth, I don't know what it is. It's called a Williams valve.
Yeah, the main air leak.
Oh.
And well, let's get the one out of the cab.
Okay.
So what is it that?
It's the main. This thing has a number of air leaks.
Yeah.
And he's addressing the big one.
Okay.
The air leak
the one
that it's had.
Like you have to let it run and run and run in order for it to build up air pressure.
Air pressure.
Other than that one being painted black, they're identical.
Okay.
So what you see here is what you're looking at in there. This side runs your throttle.
Okay.
This air line comes off. There's a shift module on the side of the transmission.
Okay.
And I talked to, remember you talked to Mike Hall?
Yep.
Yeah. He doesn't even know anything about that module.
Okay.
And I guess what I'm saying is, the people I talked to try to find something out about this Williams valve and that module, that's why I asked you, is shifting okay?
Yeah.
If it's shifting okay, great. Because if it doesn't, I don't know where you're going to go.
Oh no.
As far as that part?
That on the side of the transmission.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. If it's shift, because air is going to that module and then coming back to this. Okay. So your throttle control and your transmission control are all through that module on the side of the transmission.
Okay.
Okay. This side is coming off the air that supplies your shutdown solenoid.
Okay.
What its purpose is, I don't know. I'll be honest, because I had this thing apart.
Yeah.
And there's two pistons in here.
Okay.
This operates this one. This operates this one. This one causes this lever to go in and out, which is your throttle.
Okay.
Now, this is what I don't know, because
so where does the input from the actual, throttle control in the cab?
It goes back to the transmission and then comes back
it goes
to this.
there first.
Yep.
And then into this
Then
side.
to there.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Then you have what's called Skimmer valves, and that's a Skimmer valve, and that's a Skimmer valve.
Where?
The cylinders.
Like that thing right there. Okay. And that right there.
So when you shut the key off, this is your shut off. That's your fuel shut off.
Right.
That activates this valve and also sends air, but this is air coming in. This line here is the one coming to this side.
Okay.
And this is what's leaking, this exhaust port right here.
Yeah.
Now, if you take that line off and plug it, your air leak goes away. But I don't know what else it's going to cost.
What else is it doing? Yeah.
Heavens.
Okay.
Okay.
So, you still have an air leak unless you take that line and plug it.
So, I mean, would a person be risking much to just take it off and try it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I can plug it and you can drive it home, and if there's an issue, you can put it back on.
What kind of issue would you even foresee? I mean, what could possibly...
Well, like, the thing is this whole valve may have to be replaced.
Yeah.
You might, I can't tell you where to go in town to find that valve.
So it wouldn't be just a matter of replacing the O-rings?
I replaced, this one had one completely blown out.
Okay.
And it didn't do any good.
Oh, you replaced that one and it didn't affect it?
It didn't affect
okay.
it. It still leaked.
Okay.
These were made in Portland. Mike thinks you could still source these out of, you know, you can probably Google it and see if replacing it, will that make a difference, or find a complete rebuild kit for it.
What's it called? What's that thing?
Well, it's a Williams control valve.
Okay.
Yeah.
It says there, the only ID on it is right there. It says Williams, and underneath it says Portland.
Yeah.
And that one's identical.
Yeah. But we don't know if necessarily if the fault is even inside this or if it's something related to the transmission.
Now the only bright spot is I got a name of a guy just this week by just pure coincidence. He's out of Wenatchee, I think. He's got some of these.
These buses? Yeah.
He's got some Crowns. They might be older than this one, but the thing is the people that know this bus and these systems, they're dying. Literally.
Wow.
Okay.
Jeez.
I don't know of anybody in town that can honestly tell you they can work on that if
it needs it.
On that transmission. On the transmission, the shift system, I don't know. Mike wouldn't even know what to do with it.
Oh, okay. So you're saying the shift system is kind of a separate.
Well, it's all part of this
transmission.
bus. The Crown isn't even made anymore.
Yeah.
Right. They're squishing them down in LA. They're just squishing them.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, California emissions, these things they're just crushing them. They're just getting rid of them. I mean, this guy in Wenatchee just paid $17,000 to have a 671 in-framed. And all an in-frame is a repair. All they do is pull the head, put new pistons and liners in, and put the head back on. He got robbed.
Wow.
Because $17,000 would pay to have that removed and completely rebuilt out of frame.
Oh.
So whoever did that to him, they took him to the cleaners.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I'm just trying to be brutally honest with you that I mean the thing runs and it will start back here. I hope I didn't kill the batteries. I left the ignition on. It will start from back here. Makes this inoperable if you shut that off. That way that button can be mistakenly pushed. Oh, that turns the engine off. When the air comes up, when the air builds, we'll shut it off. It works back here.
But I was just wondering.
The smoke, it looks a lot better. The smoke, it's different. It's a different color.
Right now it's bone cold.
Yeah.
It's cold. And like any engine, as it warms up, it's going to get better. But it's cold right now.
Yeah, but it's better than it was. I mean, I can see it already. Anyway, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah.
When you step right there, my dog.
Oh, okay. So when you first started it, did it really occur that it was the fuel was better?
No, and that's another thing. Don't ever run it out of fuel.
Oh yeah.
Because this thing was a butter to get started. Because any diesel, when you run them out of fuel, it empties the system. So you got to bleed the system. These are probably one of the easiest. If you got a good starter and good batteries, it can pick up its own prime. It's called picking up prime, all right?
Okay.
Well, your fuel tank is 15 feet behind the engine.
Yeah.
And we had the fuel system completely opened up. The little gear pump on there is a fantastic pump. But on a bus, it's got to pull, because when I opened it up, all the fuel went back to the tank. Okay. It'll run back to tank.
Right.
So it's got to pull fuel clear from the tank into the engine, through the filters, into the injectors. So I had to bleed it. I had it, what was it, Monday night or Tuesday night? Monday night. I had it cranking, but I lost the batteries, so I had to charge the batteries. So Friday or Tuesday morning, and it still wouldn't start, so I had to prime it. Because usually a Detroit will pick up its own prime. Okay. And the
done that before. Where I didn't have a certain switch in the right spot. And then
it shut itself off.
And then it runs for like 5 minutes.
Why did it shut itself off? Oh, that's interesting. Didn't do that the other day. Part of it. I guess leave that safety switch up as well. I mean, if you start.
There's an access hatch inside at the back, not the main one over the engine, but farther back, that is probably over the fuel tank. And I'm just wondering, like, if I go to convert this thing, is that a hatch that I would need to keep access to?
Depends on what's under it.
Yeah.
See, the other thing you could do, what a lot of the old bus guys did, was they put an electric fuel pump near the tank.
Yeah.
Or up at the end, while they up at the engine. Here you could, if there's an access, that if you did run out of fuel, you could flip that pump on, and it would electronically bring fuel up to your filters until you prime.
Right.
It'd just be a fail-safe.
Yeah.
Because I'll show you what. That's your secondary fuel filter. This is your primary. You should always prime through your secondary. and there's plugs in the top of this, but they're frozen. So to get them out, you'd have to take this down. So I ended up climbing through this hose. This is actually, you can't see it from here. I can show you the fuel pump inside. You got fuel coming from your tank through this filter to the fuel pump. Then it comes out of the fuel pump to here. Comes out of this filter and goes to the head here. You got two filters. This is before the pump. This is after the pump. So you always want to prime after the pump. Okay? I primed through here because that was the easiest thing to do than trying to fight to get that plug out. It took a lot less time. Anyway, I had to prime this thing twice to get it to finally catch and go. That's why I'm saying don't run it out of fuel. And if you change these filters, pre-fill them. Always pre-fill them. So if you don't, you'll run out of fuel.
Were we low on gas? Is that fuel, I mean on diesel? Were we low on diesel?
Pardon?
Were we low on diesel?
No.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, it's just when you have the system apart for the injector, fuel injectors, then like this part of the system just drained out when it was open.
When you, it's like holding your thumb over a straw.
Oh, okay.
You take your thumb off, everything runs out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Once the system's closed up again, then the fuel stays here.
Oh, okay, okay, good.
No. Well, it's the one belt wasn't down, the other one. The thing is, anymore, you can't get matched belts. I mean, it could probably stand it. The thing that's going to save you on this is to educate yourself.
Yes.
Because out there, and I don't care if it's this or these people with these great big ones. I mean, that are still running Detroits. You're at their mercy.
Fine. Yeah. It looks like the smoke.
Yeah.
The smoke, it looks.
Not a big box.
I'll go look again. Oh, big black cloud. Awesome.
It is still cold. I mean, 100 degrees is cold. Yeah, you're hazing. It could be. It isn't a fresh engine. It looks good, but it's not fresh. Yeah, and you got it. You know, I had it. All I did was idle it to make air and to make heat, and it was hazing a little bit.
This is nothing like it was.
It may be the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
Because before you didn't know what you had before.
Yeah. Before we did it, we had a
Looking forward to seeing what it does when you hit the gas. When you hit the gas and we go.
Here's this guy's name. I don't know what he's got. All I know is he's got some crowns. I don't know if that shift goes out on you. I don't know it. I'm not the magic man. I don't know that. And my call has been around for as long as I have, or longer.
Yeah.
And he knows of it, but I mean, he's not capable of working on anything anymore.
Because it's something it's not just a diesel mechanic thing or a Detroit diesel thing. It's
You've got to know
specific to the Crown.
You've got to, when somebody goes into that, if it starts giving you trouble, I mean, anybody can open it up. I could tear it apart.
Yeah.
But to know the system and how it reacts with that transmission, I mean, you better know it.
Yeah.
You better know what you're doing.
So Pete Cannon had said that he sold off some of his stuff, engines and stuff, to a guy down towards Lewiston. Do you know?
Oh, Dominic? I don't know if Dominic knows this stuff. I don't know. He collects a lot of two-cycle engine parts.
Oh.
But there's nothing wrong with the transmission right now.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
nothing wrong with it. I just
Yeah,
wanted to make
so-
sure because
Okay.
because that Williams valve is tied to that. That is tied to the Williams valve.
The air thing.
Yeah. Well, it's been a little, as it is, it's just been an inconvenience to build the air pressure up initially. Once I'm on the road, it maintains 120.
I mean, I can plug that line right now and see what the reaction is.
Yeah, what do you want to do there? I mean, what's the worst case scenario? I mean, it's not gonna like.
If I got on the road and then it won't shift.
The thing is, that's what's puzzling is I don't know what that line is doing. The only thing that is plugged off that I'm aware of, that I found, was I told you that there was a high idle cylinder in the governor.
Yep.
That was plugged off. Where that came from to activate that, I'm not sure. But what I can see is that side of the valve has nothing to do with the transmission side of the valve or the throttle side of the valve, I don't believe. Because when you put air to those fittings on either side of that valve, it doesn't feed through to the other one.
Okay.
Understand what I'm
So
saying?
it's like two separate mechanisms. in
Because
one.
when you air up the throttle side, that exhaust port doesn't leak. When you air up the other side, that's when the exhaust port leaks.
So do you know how to like stop it up later if you want to try it?
All I'll do is put a cap on it.
Okay.
And you can take, all you need is 2 crescent wrenches to take it off.
Yeah. So I guess the only problem is that I'm not carrying tools with me right now. If I ran into a problem
I can give you a
like
cap.
out on the road
Yeah, just
trying to
take.
get home,
Wait,
I
is it
wouldn't
something
be
that you
able
would?
to fix that.
Is it something that you would know if it was a bad thing if you just idled it, or do you have to drive it?
I don't know.
Well,
The thing
Let's do
is it air is coming, that Skinner valve I showed you.
yeah.
The red line is air coming into that Skinner valve.
Yeah.
It's teed right at the top,
Okay.
where that red line's coming in.
Yeah.
I can go back out there and show you.
Yeah.
I'll show you. We'll shut it off.
I guess we'll try it.
You think? Okay.
Yeah.
And then that shuts, like I said, you shut that off and there's no start button.
Gotcha.
So,
What's that sound?
That's the air leak
that's the air leak.
that we've been talking about
Oh.
from that device
Okay.
he showed us.
This
Okay.
is air coming in.
Mounted right back in, right behind each other.
Okay.
This air line is air coming in.
Okay.
All right. This line is the line going to the valve that's causing it to leak. This line.
Yeah.
This line is going to that shutoff solenoid.
Okay.
And this is electronic. There's wires coming in the back side of it.
Right.
So this is what's There it goes. There it goes. Anyway, this electric solenoid is activating this line, which is activating that air solenoid, air valve.
I saw that. Okay.
Okay.
Saw that move.
So I don't know what the purpose of this line is. I honestly don't.
Oh,
The black one.
Yes.
the other one is got the
So
bleach.
I can, you can or I can. I can give you a cap. You can bust it loose here and cap that fitting. And this line is just going to be held there.
Okay. And but doing that causes this air leak to go away.
Yeah.
Really?
Huh.
But you have no idea what that thing is for.
I don't know why they're airing the cylinder. I honestly don't.
Okay.
So is there air right now going from that to you said the cylinder?
Well, you can hear it leaking.
Right.
That's what's back here leaking in that exhaust port.
Let me see that. Where are you pushing?
I'm not. I'm putting my finger over the
Oh, underneath. Okay, so how do you...
In there.
Where is it? Like right there?
Well, that's the back of the valve. It's at the top. It's up at the top.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha.
All I'm doing is putting my finger.
Okay. Well, let's try it. I'll test the...
You want me to cap it now, or you want to cap it?
I'll check. Let's do it now. And I'll check the...
Yeah.
Well, one
Say that. Explain that one more time. Just so we
It was
remember.
better when we had it,
So you got the...
Yeah, so there's two sides to the thing. It's got two separate airlines that are, he says, are unrelated, unconnected.
Okay.
And so it's this one on this side that actually is functioning to run the throttle.
Okay.
And the one on this side is the one that's causing the air to leak. And he said it's not connected to the throttle or the transmission, and it's not sure why it's even, or what it's doing.
So that's the one that
So
he's
we're
going to
gonna
cap.
try just connecting it.
Okay. Just capping it. So then if we drive...
Let's go ahead and start from the front.
So that, oh, that's a top. That's not going anywhere.
No, no.
Okay, start from the front.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what should you hear or not hear?
Won't know anything yet.
Okay. So you're looking for it to fill up real fast, the air pressure?
Oh.
Go ahead and work the throttle.
It's not black. Blue, what does that mean? What does blue smoke mean? What the hell?
Oh, running off?
As in not stopping?
Yeah. But he stopped it.
Does that mean like you wouldn't be able to stop the bus?
You'd have to shut it down.
Heavens. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works.
You. that? I hear air.
Oh, he just took that. He's gonna put that line back on.
He's gonna put it back on.
So.
Yeah. It does something, right?
I mean, I think any diesel engine can do that.
Okay.
But maybe it was related to that.
Huh. That was scary.
It's an automatic. Guess you just have to shift it into neutral. Park it and go around outside.
Because you said it has a shut-off valve, like a fuel
Yeah, the
shut-off.
fuel shut off.
So run away when it happened. A lot better than it was.
Yeah, it is better than it was. And now it's a different color.
Yeah. It was
And
black.
it's not completely, it may not be completely warmed up yet.
Yeah.
We'll see, but it's still a lot of smoke.
When we were inside the shop just talking, it was idling, there was nothing coming out.
Yeah, there is a certain RPM you can, when it's at, that it almost...
How much do you love this bus?
It hasn't really been about love for me.
I know.
If oil accumulates in the airbox, it will run on that. It'll run on that oil because it's sucking it into the liners.
Oh, so it's not... So how did you stop it?
Well, the other thing is governor. I pushed on the kill lever.
Yeah.
I pushed on the kill lever.
Which cuts the fuel. But
It cuts the fuel going in, which then it only can run on that, and it allowed it to die, if that's where it's coming from. The other thing is the governor problem.
But a true runaway is when it runs on the oil, even when you shut off the fuel. Is that correct or no?
Well, if there's enough in there, yeah. Yeah. Or there's an issue with the governor. Because we're like, I mean, this is only 260 degrees right now, which is still, but
maybe it had something to do with that hose.
what hose?
That we just.
Well, I put it back on. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what caused it to do that. I just put it back on. When I was doing the fuel filters, I was looking underneath, and the engine tips this way just a little bit. And the unfortunate thing about this, with it laying on its side, where the airbox drains are, they're in the middle of the block. Where usually if these engines are standing up, the airbox drains are lower. But and then they put a check valve on it so that it doesn't slobber when it's sitting and idling. And the check valve opens when the airbox pressure comes up. The valve opens and then allows any excess oil to blow out. If you look, you see that spot of oil right there?
Yeah.
That's coming out of the drip tube of the airbox drains.
Okay.
That little spot right there.
Yeah.
But where they got that positioned and the engine tipping this way, I'm not real wild about their engineering, but what do I know?
So it sounds like you're thinking that it's still smoking excessively.
Yeah, it is. But it's not black, it's blue.
Yeah, it's definitely not the same.
What is blue versus black?
Blue can be oil.
Oh.
But again, we're not up to temperature. The exhaust is only 260 degrees. You can lay your hand on it. Well, a little bit. But I mean, it's only 260 degrees, 225 degrees.
So, yeah.
But the other thing, what I would like you to do